So maybe some things before we start this. So Info and I were talking a little bit about this, what is actually important in RNG, and I'm just gonna outline a little bit what we are exactly gonna do, and some things that we are not gonna discuss. So the basic reason why we are doing this is that several people are saying that there are kind of run killers in the game, and when you have a certain kind of bad RNG, it's basically impossible to go on. So that is not right. What is right is that when you're having a bad RNG, you can be slowed down significantly and will not be able to compete for, let's say, world record. But you will still be able to compete for, let's say, 3rd place right now, or 2nd place, or something like that. So this game, do you want to add something right away?
No, I'm just letting you. I'm just
okay.
letting.
All right, so we are gonna go over some of the spots that are RNG in this game and that can slow you down significantly. And we are not going to talk about things like that. Of course, when you are having a hacker, you can have bad RNG with the positioning of the symbols and how far you have to travel within this display or interface. Especially this goes for the mini game where you're having these 3 bars that are getting smaller and smaller, 3 of them. The first one is the biggest one. The cursor is running from left to right and back and so on, you know that? So that can cost a lot of time, several seconds added when you're having bad RNG of this throughout the game. That's of course something we cannot really discuss. It's also part of the RNG. Yeah. Okay, that was one important thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so basically we are gonna have a look at mission 1, mission 2, mission 3, mission 4 and 5 are pretty stable. We're gonna have a short notice about some small things that you might experience, but usually just the bigger things we're gonna have a look at. And that is again mission 6, mission 7, mission 8 can be, if you're lacking some loot. Mission 9 of course is pretty much out of the question. There is some RNG, but it's not possible to actually control that. So there won't be any way to get better results there. Mission 10, there is a small thing. We are gonna talk about these things. We are gonna have a look at mission 11 very shortly. Not mission 12. Mission 13, there is something we're going to show in mission 14. It is a fight with a Superjoe that can occur. Mission 15 is pretty stable. Mission 16, there is some NPC placement that can be problematic. And mission 17 is can be problematic when you're lacking some loot. Whereas I would say mission 18 is also pretty stable. There is no real need to go over this. And of course there is a fast walk that you can't control in mission 19. That's about 10
Oh,
10 seconds.
I don't know. I think you can, but I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
well,
that's the subject of dispute.
yeah, we can have a look at this later on, if we're maybe going to play mission 18 and have a look. We will see. So there are different opinions. So okay, that's what we're basically going to do. Do you want to add something up front?
No, I don't think so. Not yet.
Not yet. All right. So, and again, I didn't mention, yeah, this is of course infomastr. He's the other one and I am qDTH. So we are saying hi. And let's just gonna go right into the game and have a look at mission 1. there is just one little thing that might be interesting, and it's about it can cost you about 2 seconds. I will just try and show this very briefly, if this is possible, and outline what's actually happening. And I would like to point out that if you want to have some complete playthrough of the missions and need some orientation, then you might have a look at our main speedrun guide for Nightmare Any Percent, because I'm just gonna have a look at some ways you have to go and outline what's actually going to happen sometimes, and not go into full detail or play through the missions completely. So that's what I would recommend. So this is all pretty standard. There is nothing important here so far. Yeah, so if you have something that might be interesting to tell, you can do this right now, because this is just gonna take a little, like a minute. So I am trying to explain this before I'm actually at the point where it's happening. And it is that Samuels can be differently fast.
Taylor, good morning.
So I've activated these two NPCs now, first Samuels and then Taylor. And now I'm going back to Samuels. And you will experience that he is standing in different positions depending on the RNG. Sometimes he stands over there, sometimes he stands here. That doesn't really matter because he keeps going on after you left the room. So now he's still moving within this room. And when I go back to Taylor and activate her, I will have to go I will actually have to open the door for Samuels here, so that's why I'm also always going down the hall. And you can have a look at how fast he actually is when you're going through the door that I just went through. And then when he's not here, he is a little bit slow. But when you are coming at the end of the hall and he's already trying to get through the corner, over the corner, now you see he sometimes stands still. That's also RNG. Sometimes he just walks through. So when he's coming right towards you and you don't have to wait for him coming around the corner, then he's quick. So that can cost around 2 seconds. Some people reset the game right at this point. And the usual time you would get when everything runs smoothly is that when you are going through this door before Samuels, Verlaine is going to start talking. And when her monologue starts, usually at the timer, real time or game time doesn't matter at this point, you will see a 2:49. 2:49 is a quick time, 2:51 is like a bad time. So now we are going to have a look at mission 2. This is the only thing in mission 1. 2 seconds can be a lot. I don't think I would reset there. Might also be because I'm having a bad split there right now in my PV, so it doesn't really matter that much to me. Hey Shy. So here again I will have to walk a little bit or run until I'm there, but I'm gonna try and save before. So there is nothing you can do to actually change something of this RNG in mission 1. Whereas in the problem that we are going to experience in mission 2, there are theories about how you can change the RNG there. And yeah. We will have a look at that. We were talking about this in the speedrun guide, but I also want to try and time this. So let's just say you are having bad RNG throughout all of the game, and you just lost 2 seconds because Samuels was slow in mission 1. That's 2 seconds.
God damn. This'll help.
RNG can also include that the items in the room that I've just come from, when after I was climbing up the ladder, can be differently placed. Usually when you're coming up the ladder, right to your left there will be an item on the table. Sometimes it's just not there. That's really very rare. But of course this is also a kind of RNG that we cannot really talk about. And we also cannot really influence it.
What the hell happened here? The turrets. I'm here. I'm right here. Elaine! Damn it!
So I'm gonna save here, and then we are gonna have a look at different scenarios we can experience at this point. It's really marginal, it's not much, but people say it can be a reason to reset the run. Some people actually are doing this. We call this fast or slow Axel. I'm sure you have seen this
Place is
before.
falling apart.
So I'm gonna try and time this. I'm gonna run from this line, and when I've reached the upper stair, I'm gonna stop. It is almost slow Axel, 11 seconds. Now let's have a look. I'm not sure if this is really properly working. This was not really fast. I mean, this was almost fast Axel, but he should have actually run a little bit earlier. But it was only a split second, so we can assume this is like good RNG. I really don't know how to glitch him out here or make him worse RNG, because I always do the same thing. And for now, the question is, can you maybe say something about how to break the RNG pattern? I mean, we've been talking about this in the speedrun guide, but maybe we can just repeat some of the strategies that we have here, what people think might change the situation here. This is slow Axel, very slow Axel, and it's about a second that you lose. So yes, what I actually do is, like, when I'm coming down through this thing and I'm looking down, I'm starting to run, and when I'm slowed down, which is usually when I see this bag that's always at the same position, I suddenly look up. And I tried to have this walk through right in the middle. Yeah, so this is like a second difference. That's not too much. I think we will agree on that. There is actually no other RNG that is important in mission 2. Besides, some people say the tram in the end can be fast or slow. We have never really measured that. I will not do this right now because I'm actually not convinced this is a fact, and also it would take too much time. So I don't consider this necessary right now. So in mission 3, I've been talking about this several times before, and I was just shortly doing a little stream session about the RNG that can happen here. But I will just repeat it because it's also kind of fun to do it.
Shit! Guys, over here! Someone's here!
It's in the end of mission 3, so I will just have to go
She's
there.
trying to hack the elevator's security. Circuits are fried.
It's gonna take like 3 to 4 minutes.
Just need to find a new data set.
Do you really want to take that chance?
Okay. We find her and we kill her. I think she went downstairs. Come on.
It's also pretty difficult to time the time loss that you are having there, but I just will try to capture the different outcomes of this. Info, are you
Alright, I'm back. Yeah, sorry.
Alright. So I was having... Yeah, I was saying that in mission 2, the only real RNG factor is fast or slow Axel. I was just timing it, and it was like a second difference when you're having like almost perfect Axel and really slow Axel. So a second is not that much. And then I was saying that some people say the tram in the end can arrive soon or later. And I didn't time this right now because it would have cost too much time. So what is your theory?
The tram theory is there is some RNG, I think, with the tram, and you just can't control it. I know Saturnine looked at that at one point. I timed the one, but I really only tested this in the end of mission 12, that tram. I think it varies by mission. The conclusion was that if you, especially on some of the trams, if you go far away from them, you can actually delay. So it seems like you could go away for 2 minutes and then go down there and the tram will just be arriving. Or if you just stayed there, it would get there in 50 seconds. So there's some mechanic in the game that controls how long the trams take to get to you, and it seems to depend on how far away you are, and then there's just also some inherent RNG on the order of seconds. You just don't want to go too far away.
So that is actually not a problem for the tram in mission 2, because I think there is actually no point within the sealed off area in the end of mission 2 where you can be so far away from the tram that is actually delayed.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but you just that's the moral. It's just don't go too far away from the trams.
this can be a problem when you're doing mission 10 and you're waiting for the tram and you're doing a loot run before the tram is arriving. There are some places where you shouldn't go, but this is not RNG. So, but yeah, still the theory is The tram and mission 2 can arrive sooner or later. And, you know, it would be interesting to time that at some point, but I'm not gonna do this right now. But what I'm gonna do is show some different RNG for the Mission 3 elevator hack. This is one of my favorite hobbies. I mean, Mission 3 elevator hack is like, I love it as much as Twitchy does M7.
Yeah.
So, let's have a look. First RNG, the girl runs to her right. The alien is there. This is the best RNG. You're usually having enough time. You see it's still going pretty quickly, so you should hurry. This is the best RNG. Now we will have to do this so long as until the pattern is breaking. And of course, as I mentioned in the speedrun guide, you run up to the stairs, you psycho run basically the whole way. You can run in between a little bit, it doesn't really change anything. Like I psycho run here, then I run here up to this corner, then I psycho run again. You don't have to do that, usually the pattern will still stay stable. And this is the same pattern again. Usually what I experienced is that the pattern is staying stable for 4 or 5 times and then it's starting to change when you're reloading the same save again. So I'm not talking about breaking the pattern by doing a different kind of movement, but having a bad pattern in itself. Actually did everything right. Same pattern, she runs to the right. Hey Pluto. Same pattern. Pluto, we are doing an RNG guide and we are having a look at the different patterns that you can have in this section. So this is a really bad pattern, but it's still manageable. Sometimes, luck dependent. Sometimes the alien doesn't look to the right because I wasn't making any step. So I don't know, I think I had to wait there for like 2 or 3 seconds, I would say. This is a little bit difficult to time. I will try it anyway. I would say I will time it when I'm at the upper corner. How long it takes me to actually get to hack the door. So this is a really bad pattern again. So this was about 10 seconds. And as you see, it would have been enough time. When I'm just running down the stairs, it is the same thing, like if she is actually here on the left or on the right, if she's running to the left or to the right, it doesn't matter because you will always run down the stairs without standing still, so it will always be like, let's say 10 seconds from the upper corner. Now we'll try to get this bad pattern again. And see how long it takes us to get to the door. And this still does not mean that you are getting through the door, of course. This is obvious, I think. So this is again about 10 seconds. Okay, I don't know how long we will try this, but I think the point is pretty clear. When the girl runs to the right or to the left, it doesn't really matter for you. You should be fast enough to hack anyway.
If she runs to the lower, like the side closer to the stairs, it's definitely it's a tighter window that you have because you can't. It will take basically it takes longer for the alien to come out of the elevator area, and if you get too close to him, obviously he's going to kill you. So that the hack has to be a little bit faster when you do that.
So just so you see, it's possible. I lost about 1.5 to 2 seconds, I would say, due to this bad pattern, and it's still possible to go through and hack the elevator. Yes?
Yeah, I mean, that's like a high risk strat.
Yeah.
If you go downstairs when he does not chase someone away, it's much more high risk, and your mileage may vary.
Yeah, so anyways, when you're starting to run the game, you will die at this point very often in the beginning. Usually hacking has to be practiced, and this pattern is a little bit sensitive, but usually it should be no problem to get it. So the game is broken enough. So here we are having another pattern. This is like totally fucked up. This is over.
But it's good to show the bad pattern. I mean, that's the point, right? You show the bad patterns.
Yeah, right. This can happen, right? So
some of this though is nice hack. Some of this is due to reloading. Like when you reload saves.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah, you would never do that in a run.
No, you wouldn't. But as we know, different hardware setups can cause different patterns sometimes. So, but as you see, it's still possible to hack it all. So as you can see, if you're doing this solidly and smoothly, without making any steps, you usually will have the opportunity to get through. Okay, this is mission 3. So you see, another time we had bad RNG now, let's say that, and we have another time loss of, let's just make it round, 2 seconds. So there was 2 seconds in the beginning, 1 second in mission 2, and 2 seconds here is 5 seconds. In mission 4 there can be a door that sometimes is closed. There is a strategy to keep it open. We've been talking about this in the speedrun guide. I wouldn't count that into RNG. Sometimes the Joes can be in your way. So that's nothing you can control. Mission 5, there is really no RNG in mission 5. Besides the hacking pattern. That's why we are going to have a look at mission 6 now. Maybe you want to add something. I mean, I'm going to take some time before I'm actually at the spot. Info?
Sorry.
Maybe you wanted to add something about mission 4, 5 or something. I don't know.
So I guess the android pattern on the way back, both coming out of the elevator, he can be slow. There's RNG with him coming out of the elevator. There's also RNG with.
That's right.
There can be RNG with the android right before you get into the elevator to go back to the main Systech lobby.
Yeah,
so,
well, I wouldn't say when you are after the elevator in from the upper comms to the lower comms. In the lower comms there is no RNG. There are stable patterns for this.
You can control it pretty much
Yes.
by making noise.
Right.
But
Yeah.
some people are silently running the whole way. Like, I'm pretty sure in Bobby's run even, he's like silently running the whole way. So you can get a bad pattern if they don't hear you and get pulled towards you.
Yeah, I never do silent patterns there. I always make some noise to control them. And it always works. I've never had any trouble with this.
Yeah.
But that's actually a good point. When you're coming to the upper elevator, the Joe sometimes gets stuck there and doesn't do his job. That's a problem. So we'll
Yeah.
save here. And let's see if we're gonna get some bad. Excuse me. Some bad patterns. This won't be...
And 5, not really. Like,
I'm on my way.
there's no real RNG in 5.
So now the problem in this section with the RNG is we're always doing the same strategy. Throwing the flare there. Is that the humans can be in your way here. So if you wanted to run this way, it can be that they are actually already there. Now they are here. Yeah. So this time they wouldn't be in my way. I'm just gonna repeat this. I hope from where I'm standing, I'm gonna get some bad RNG at some point, and I will time it from the point when I'm actually putting in the keycard until I'm at the first generator.
It's got hell in here, Samuels. Samuels.
Now they are in my way.
We're at the transit station outside medical reception. Ripley, we heard gunshots, and if we heard them, so did the creature. Ripley, your way out through the medical reception.
So that is a 37 seconds. Let's see what happens if I don't get bad RNG here.
Samuels. I'm on my way.
Visitors are asked to refrain from smoking.
It's got hell in here, Samuels. Samuels. I've got the meds.
We're at the transit station outside medical reception. Ripley, we heard gunshots, and if we heard them, so did the creature.
28 seconds. That is a difference of 9 seconds. So this is one of the really big RNG spots. And thankfully we got the good and the bad pattern pretty quickly. And this is about all to show here. On the way back, sometimes it can happen that you have to kill a human. Either you do this by shooting him, and this is about as fast, because you still have to hit him, right, as when you are doing this animation. So I don't know how long does this take.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is one of the worst.
1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
If you have to kill a human on the way back. This is
It's more just the risk of dying, I guess. But you shouldn't have that happen on any percent, at least. You shouldn't. If you use the flare, unless you mess up the flare placement. Although sometimes I guess what can happen is if you can get the 3 and still mess up the flare placement, and you will get the other guy like running sideways back to get that room. Like you'll get the 4th guy with the flare from on the other side of the level, and that can
really?
actually be really annoying. Yeah, when that happens, that's really annoying, and you basically will have to kill him because he will run past you really quickly, and it's very easy to touch him, and he'll just one-shot you, and you're dead.
Yeah. So this is about what happened in my run that I just did. But yeah, so it costs like 1.5 seconds to kill him with the jack. You need to have two hits with the jack, and then he's dead. Yeah. So this can also happen, that he's just standing in your way and sees you from afar. And yeah.
Fix that.
So Twitchy has done an extensive amount of timing in this level about how fast these strategies actually are. I should have maybe done that too. Maybe I should time
Yeah,
this.
Twitchy has done a lot of that stuff. I don't know that he's on.
Do
I
you
don't think he's
know?
on there.
Do you know the times he had?
Oh, he is on. Let me see.
I'm just gonna try and reproduce these patterns and do it as fast as I can. There are really several strategies. I'm not even sure. So, okay, what is the problem, and why did we actually also invent these different strategies? One is, of course, to make this faster.
Because the other strategy was, I mean, there's the old strategy, which was to essentially wait for the android to come and open the door. And during that time, you could throw a flare upstairs,
There's a piece missing.
and there'd be time to do that. But the time difference there is just huge. It is just faster. And honestly, Twitchy needs to talk about this is his baby. This is his mission. So he's really the expert on mission, the RNG hell that is mission 7.
Yes.
Because there is actually like a YOLO strat that he does here that's faster. That's something that is after I did the last run that I did, which is faster, I think, than even using a pipe bomb. So I think he needs to be the one to probably explain some of the differences in times. It's on the order of like 15 to 20 seconds.
So I'm not gonna collect the first blasting pin. Nice. Oh man, this is a problem with this strategy. So this is just gonna take some time. We are okay. I don't know what other strategy Twitchy was actually developing here. Hey, Sosa. But the reason why this strategy was also developed, or why this strategy can be helpful, is that when you are in a run and you want to continue it, and you don't have a flare, so then you will have some issues to actually go fast. There are safe strategies that involve a flare and other stuff, and I will just take some of them, show some of them.
Piece missing.
So let's just add a second to that timer right now. I'm gonna try to do this strategy again.
Get out of here.
Alright, I need to be AFK for a little bit, so I'm just going to mute this.
Alright. So this can take forever now. This can really take forever. Because there are so many different patterns and outcomes, and you see this strategy is highly unstable. But still, this is such an RNG heavy mission that we have to talk about it. And I'm just gonna make some timestamps afterwards for the different kinds of strategies for this mission so that you don't lose overview of this. This is just gonna take some time. There are really several strategies that need to be discussed here.
There's a piece missing. I need to fix that.
Hey, what was that? We don't want you here. Stay away from here. We'll all be happy.
But I can only repeat that at some point the Mission 3 elevator hack was considered utter madness. And as you've seen, even worst patterns can be integrated. And you can still continue your run that way. So this is finally a good pattern. Good timing. So this is like the best possible outcome. He has killed the second guy. The third guy is in the back. It cannot shoot you. So 202, I know usually it would be timed until you are actually in the elevator. It doesn't matter right now. 2 minutes and 2 seconds if you're getting through the YOLO strat and everything runs according to plan. So now I'm gonna do a strategy that involves a flare and to kill the Joe with a stun baton charge. And this of course is only if you're having a flare.
There's a piece missing. I need to fix that.
Was that what? Go on. Go. Just get out of here. We didn't want any trouble.
This of course also demands some fast hacking. That's what you will need
Now
to
play
make
nice.
this strategy fast. This is a safe strategy.
I need a compression cylinder.
This might be wrong flare placement. We'll see if this is still gonna work. So usually you won't be fast enough to get through this door, because you also have to evade those guys that I've just been looking at. And they are the ones that keep the door open by going through, so... So to 11:44, that's about 10 seconds you lose when you're doing the safe strategy. But when you're doing the safe strategy, you will have a stable strategy and you won't have any problem on your way back, usually. It can happen that one of the guys is stuck in the door, in the last door that you have to get through, that I didn't get through in time, that was closing right in front of me. And he will look at you. And the theory is that he's looking at you because he sees you when you grab the blasting pin in the shelf. The last blasting pin. I was going to the blasting pin, and then I was going back and around the shelves and on the wall to the door, and the door was closing right in front of me. And I did that because I actually had enough time until they were getting through. I mean, I was losing a little bit time there because
There's a piece missing. I need to fix that.
so there is one pattern where this guy here is standing on the left side, and if he does, you can make the alien drop, activate the alien drop animation without having to deal with them afterwards anymore. And that is a pretty good thing. It saves some time. Yeah. We'll see if we can get this pattern. Yes, Evai. You're welcome. So it might look like the first strategy that is that we are doing without a flare and just with the guys there
There's a piece missing.
might be the best one. So have a look.
There could be more of them. Just shoot anything that moves. This is so fucked up.
So this is really dependent on speed. When you're not fast enough, when you're out of the vent and going in there, then they will notice you. They will start to talk about you, and the alien drop animation won't be activated. And now I'm doing the same thing as before, but I won't have the problem with the door closing in front of me, and the closing animation also costs time, as does the opening animation of this door. And I won't have to go around them.
I need a compression cylinder.
Components warehouse. Row 1.
203. So this strategy is about 2 seconds slower than the risky strategy, without a flare, without a stun. So to collect all of these strategies and why they are actually necessary. The usual strategy would be that you run through the middle when this guy that can change his position, we call him the black guy, is on the right side, and you can't go past the right side without getting noticed. Then you would go through the middle, you would hack the terminal, you would get the hacker, then you would kill the Joe with a stun baton, you would take a flare, and you would in this way get the humans into the warehouse and run past them outside. This is a safe strategy. You won't have any problems with this usually if you are putting it through thoroughly. We've seen that costs, I don't know, it was like 211 until you reach the point where you can put in the cylinder. Then you are having the strategy where you also have a flare and a stun. And you can, I mean, you don't need a flare for this strategy, but you need a stun where you go through the right side and activate the alien dropping animation. And when you're doing this fast, you do everything the same like before, but you don't throw the flare, and you go through the middle in the second warehouse section and don't have to evade the humans. And you're coming out with a 2:03:68, so like that is like 8 seconds faster. This would be what you actually want. It's a safe strategy and it's the best RNG pattern. So between those two, it is like 8 seconds difference in a normal any percent run, where you would use the stun baton charge for this situation. And then there is the third strategy, and this went really well. It sometimes can go wrong. It is unstable, where you don't have a flare and you don't want to use your stun baton charge, and that usually is the case in a low percent run, where you go through the middle, you get them towards the hallway with the flashlight, you let them open the door, and you lure the alien into this little hallway and let the alien kill the other two guys. And if you're lucky, when you're coming out, the alien won't be in your way, or won't be in your way before you're getting in the hallway and in the second warehouse section, because all of these things can happen. And then you're getting happily to the elevator and activate it, and that would be like another 2 seconds time save. But I can tell you, this strategy, going the fast way, usually doesn't go without any further incidents. Sometimes the alien is in your way, sometimes one of the humans is still alive, so it is unstable, but it doesn't need a flare or a stun baton charge. So this is a huge time factor. Again, we will assume we didn't have good RNG. I mean, what you still need would be a flare and a stun baton charge. We just assume we have this, and you will have like another 10 seconds time loss compared to the best strategy, or let's say an 8 seconds time loss, because the unstable strategy is very risky. So that would be another 8 seconds bad RNG here, and mission 4 would have been maybe like 2 or 3 seconds, maybe 4, if you have to wait for the android. Yeah, so it adds up a little bit. I have to write this down somewhere so I can count it together in the end. So Info, do you want to add something to this? Or are you still AFK? Might be. I'm just gonna write this down. Okay, let's go on. And this is just basic strategies. So what's also possible is that you are getting good RNG with the loot, and you can actually build a pipe bomb for mission 7 and blow up the android. This is also possible, and it's much faster. I might actually show this
We need the
just for
transit
the
to
purpose of having it shown one time. I'm not sure.
get to
Well,
HQ,
I
but it's
actually
down.
don't think this is a
Transit control
viable
is
option.
upstairs.
It can be
Samuel
faster.
says you're an engineer. Go make
It most likely is faster. Yeah, but I wouldn't really consider this bad RNG, I have to say. I think I didn't activate the elevator. Did I? I did. So this is just some basic stuff here. Let's see the first strategy, where you have a flare. Safe way to do it.
Someone shut everything off.
I know someone's in here.
Man, this timer didn't start. It's bad. So I'm not talking about special strategies here, which would be a pipe bomb strategy, for example.
We need the transit to get to HQ,
little
but it's
fast.
down. Transit
Fast
control
there.
is upstairs. Samuel says you're an engineer. Go make yourself useful. Seeing as you screwed up the trap.
So first strategy.
Someone shut everything off.
I know someone's in here. No, what did you do?
You shouldn't be here. What
It's you or me? Take him out!
I've been timing this a lot in the past, but I don't remember from what point on. So let's see, when we get in the vent, I will stop the timer. $136.25. So
Transit to get to HQ, but it's down.
just a second.
Transit control is upstairs. Samuel says you're an engineer. Go make yourself useful, seeing as you screwed up the trap.
So now we'll perform this this mission without a flare, and this is a significant time loss.
Someone shut everything off.
I know someone's in here. No, what did you do?
What have we here? As I thought, unfortunate.
$157. Let's say 21-second time loss. So you see, it makes a very big difference if you're having a flare or not. Some people perform mission 8 even faster. And can get out another 2 or 3 seconds. That is possible, but a little bit unstable, I have to say. So in mission 7, mission 10, there is the possibility that a human can be in your way when you are finished with the Systech lobby and going to the elevator, and then you have to flame him. That takes exactly the amount of time you would need to flame somebody thrice. So I will just try that.
Anyone hear me?
Ripley,
Let me
is
see
that you?
how can we do this best.
Yes,
I'm gonna
wait.
just try to
Me,
raise my weapon
son of a
and
bitch.
shoot.
You locked me in.
No, wait.
You blew the lab into
I
space.
had no choice. No choice at all.
So about
You saw that
1.5
thing. You
seconds.
saw what it could do. I had to get it
So
off
let's
the
just
station.
assume you are having a bad RNG
It's
again and you're
necessary.
losing another
Yeah.
1.5
Use
seconds
me
in
as
mission
bait.
10, and of course you're
Leave
not
me to
getting shot.
die.
This is a possibility
Goddamn work.
that you're getting
Please,
shot by this guy,
goddamn
but
work.
usually
I got
when
that
you're
thing.
fast enough and this
Yes,
just
it
needs a
did
little
the cab shot.
practice,
The station's
you
safe.
shouldn't have any
There's
problem
that. And
getting
there's
shot
the fact
there.
that you're a heartless bastard. I'm heading back to the bureau. We can discuss your methods there. Ripley out.
Be advised, Apollo has raised the hazard containment alert to level Omega.
So one RNG pattern I would like to show. Not sure, I thought there was actually a save station somewhere here. Let's see if this makes a difference. So there are different patterns here, just to show them once. So this is one of the worst patterns you can have. What the fuck? And it is that there are several humans and an android. Two androids actually. This is another human. Really weird. And they killed one android somewhere. Where is it? That's a little weird. Where is the last android? So usually you can try to get through here, but it is sometimes a little difficult. We call this the mystical... what is it called? Mystery door? I think. Sometimes there is nobody in here. Sometimes there are two androids in here. And I think sometimes there are just humans in here. So... there is the possibility to reduce the risk, mission 11, when you're having a stun baton charge. That you can use... Hey, Mr.
No
Kevin.
thanks to weights.
He's a ruthless son of a bitch, always has been. Stubborn too. If he'd ever listened to me, things would never have gone this far.
So you see,
Done now.
there is a guy who's actually trying to shoot at you, and it is possible to kill him through
Got me out
this
in the end.
grid.
Back to the bureau.
Let's see. See? This is called a ranged stun baton charge. Attack. Ranged stun baton attack. If you don't do this, you will face him again when you're going through this door. After going around, you know. You will come out here and you will either have to lure him to the door by making noise within this room and then kill him safely. That takes some time. And it is not RNG. Or you will kill him when you are running out of the door, and then you're taking the risk that he's actually gonna kill you. So this is not RNG. I'm just saying the RNG part here is when you don't have a stun baton charge, you cannot safely and quickly kill him. That is a problem. I will show mission 13 because it actually has different patterns. Really, it doesn't make any difference in time that much, and it takes an awful lot of time to get to the situation, so I don't even know if it's worth it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It doesn't take too much time, so why not?
But once you're inside, he made sure it'll at least talk to you.
So this is just gonna take a little time until we are at the Joe part.
Vixen and Apollo, thank you.
Doesn't take too much time.
I'll bet.
But so you know how it looks like. Maybe it's good to do it.
Access elevator offline. Primary Apollo systems inaccessible.
Ricardo, the way-in's blocked off.
The schematics they use for the Sevastopol sales tour should be nearby. See if there's a back door.
Okay, let's see. There's a power conduit that links to the Apollo core. I can use that.
You think you'll fit?
Turn off the electrics, take some deep breaths, squeeze. Easy.
I'm not coming up there to pull you out if you get stuck. Huddling up to a live conduit is gonna hurt though, right?
I'll have to power it down first. Ricardo, conduit's offline for now.
I've pulled up the Apollo schematics here. It looks like you can get to the access through the turbine shaft. There'll be an emergency shut-off nearby, but it won't stay off forever. You have to get inside quickly.
Wrong side.
Turbine's off. Way should be clear.
Better run. If Apollo systems overheat, they'll reboot.
This is gonna be tight.
Good luck. Ripley, you're getting deeper into Apollo. and
Really,
you're losing
Savai?
your feet. I'm gonna lose you soon.
In Mission 11, sometimes one of the people behind the mystery door is a civilian.
Lots of Joes down there, Rip. Could be
I didn't know that.
dangerous.
Samuel sacrificed himself so I could get here. I've gotta try.
I thought he was a pretty nice guy for his index.
So now, this is the RNG part, and we agreed there's no way to actually
Any idea what to do next?
change this.
Ricardo?
So this is good RNG.
If you can hear me.
If it was
find
bad
another way to
RNG,
make
this Joe would be in
Someone's
our
up in my
way.
earpiece.
Okay? So now, let's have a look again.
Ricardo, main entrance is locked. Any idea what to do next? Ricardo? For Christ's sake. If you can hear me, find
So
another
this
way
is
to
still
make
good
contact.
RNG. It looked like the Joe actually did see us, and it didn't change anything. So it is
Ricardo,
RNG.
main entrance is locked. Any idea what
Now
to
I'm
do
gonna
next?
run a little bit, and the Joe will come towards me, just to show you that you can break this pattern.
Ricardo?
Really hoping that this pattern is broken now. No, you see.
If you can hear me, find another way to...
Still RNG. So it doesn't matter what you do, it seems.
Ricardo, main entrance is locked. Any idea what to do next? Ricardo?
It's good to know, actually.
For Christ's sake.
Good RNG again.
Ricardo, main entrance is locked. Any idea what to do next?
This is much faster. Just to run. It's good to know.
Ricardo? For Christ's sake.
Yeah, well, okay. Let's assume the Joe is in the hallway. We will just artificially create the situation now. Now you see, he's in our way, and I will now try to hit him. Okay? See? And it takes exactly this time. And now I will run past him. That is 4.5 seconds about. So let's do it again. And after he has hit us, we will have to run past him like this. Either the left or the right side will have enough space so that you can run past. So yeah, that's now because we were running before, I think. Let's see if this makes a difference. I actually don't think so.
Ricardo,
It
main
would be
entrance is
interesting
locked.
to know. Just
Any idea
doing
what
this.
to do next?
Experimental purposes right now. So if you had bad RNG in this level, you would lose another 4.5 seconds.
Sake. If you can hear me, find another way to make contact. Something's up with my earpiece. Okay.
Yeah,
If I
this
power
doesn't
these
make
up,
any
one of them should
difference.
give me access to Apollo's security bands.
Okay, so assume you are having bad RNG here, you would lose another 4.5 seconds, but only if you actually perform the hit animation. And then he will hold your hit you back. It costs you less health and it costs you less time, but the minimum is 4.5 seconds.
You on comms here, Ricardo?
I'm here, Rip. What's the news?
Apollo's running on Weyland-Yutani protocols.
It's what?
Seegson sold out. Weyland-Yutani are in control of Apollo now. It's refusing to lift the lockdown.
So
It says there's something up with the reactor.
You're from the company. Tell it you don't give a shit and to do what you say.
Sorry, Ricardo, I'm small fry. Me, Samuels,
yeah, really?
Taylor,
Okay,
we
so
all-
I didn't know
guess
this
if we
about
mounted
Mission
anything,
11, I have to
Apollo would
admit.
be so ready to see us killed.
But it's good to know. So I'm doing this for PC strategies here, and there is no RNG in this first place. If you're doing everything according to plan after you go through this door that I just went through and start psycho running, and then if you're fast enough, there is no problem whatsoever with these cameras and the Joe. He won't follow you, he won't be able to see you. Yeah, the guy in Mission 11 upstairs only appears when you're making noise downstairs. And he's actually a pistol guy. So he can kill you. That's why you should be silent downstairs. So here of course is a slight RNG that is pretty easily controllable. And it involves the Joe. When you are coming down here like this, he won't notice you. And now you have to psycho run. We'll be over there. Will not see you. He saw me a little bit now because I might have been a little bit slow. And now he either goes to the left, to the right. Now he went to the left, and that means he's gonna see me. So I have to use an EMP mine here. This is actually just a problem for low percent runs, because there you don't have an EMP mine. And there also are strategies for this situation. So now we are coming to one of the heavy RNG spots in this game. It can cost you a lot of time, but if you are having good execution, usually you shouldn't lose too much time. Actually, very few. Shouldn't be a problem. But you can have good RNG and you can have bad RNG, and it shows. That's for sure. And you can lose a lot of time, but also with good execution you can compensate that a little bit. So you can run here all the way. And now, this is the good RNG. He looks away. And you have to be very fast now. And if you do that, you get out before he sees you. Now, let's see if we can get a bad pattern. I will try to time this again. So, I'm timing from here. So this is bad RNG, but good execution. Because he didn't see me. If he sees you, he will stand still and look at you.
A working gem. Strange.
This was just about fast enough.
You was
I will go up until the elevator or no, to this door. 4067. So this is what I mean. Even if he faces you, it doesn't mean that you're automatically losing a lot of time. So now let's have a look. We're doing this again.
We're experiencing a heightened containment hazard level today.
So that's how to evade him. Just have shown it again. You have to crouch behind the boxes. Doesn't work any other way. Oh no. I need the good pattern again.
Safety protocols.
No, I actually wanted him to notice me because you can also, well, it's not actually necessary to show the worst scenario where he sees you, because as you've seen, it's possible to evade him. You should always assume that he's walking towards the entrance so that you won't have the time. That you will have to hide behind the boxes. $37.27. So that is about 3.5 seconds. So I will now try, just for completeness, to show a pattern where he actually sees you and how you get out of this and how much time it takes. Well, he doesn't want to see me, it seems. I don't know, what could I do wrong? Maybe I should make a step?
Something amiss.
Okay, now he sees me. He has seen me, or something of me. Now you have to make him look the other way. And now he will be aware of you in a bigger radius. So you can't get too close to him. His radius is now a little bit broad and about 2 to 2.5 meters. And then you have to go to the left, because otherwise he will grab you when you are running past him. So this was almost a little slow, but as you can see, I still lost about 11 seconds when he saw me. And this is not RNG, so this is just when you mess things up, basically.
I'm going to catch you.
Okay, this was mission 14. The rest is pretty much the same. There can happen all kinds of stuff in the nest, but usually you should calculate at least fending off the alien one more time than you're used to. So this is not really worth talking about. There are different possibilities for the reactor where the Joes are standing, but this is so obvious. Doesn't really make that much difference. You can lose a bunch of time in mission 16.
Ricardo.
I'm gonna try to show something of this here.
Trying to contact the turret, but the comms are still locked. The ambulance you just docked is screwed. The turret is our only way off this. The broadcast from the lane just updated.
Hello, Sebastopol. Can you respond? We just saw a ship blow on your starboard side. Took out an entire orbital stabilizer array. We have no place to dock. Please, tell us what's going on in there. We can take survivors. I'll leave this channel open. Torrens out.
What do they want?
The Torrens. They heard the broadcast. They want to contact it. I think they plan on taking it by force.
Can they?
No, comms are still out.
Take a look around.
So this is one of the best patterns. Let's say 37 seconds. I usually would have tried to kill the one guy with the Molotov cocktail, but it didn't have found it. So we'll just try to do this again. I don't even know if I'm full in health. Yeah. The Cruz is so thorough when he has set up these splits. These saves, I mean. So that was a 37.
Hello, Sebastopol. Can you respond? We just saw a ship blow on your starboard side. Took out an entire orbital stabilizer array. We have no place to dock. Please, tell us what's going on in there. We can take survivors. I'll leave this channel open. Torrens out.
Welcome to Seegson Communication. Please sign in.
You've got company. Seegson security just came through. Guns in hand, not friendly. I had to hide under a desk.
What do they want?
The Torrens. They heard the broadcast. They want to contact it. I think they plan on taking it by force.
Can they?
Wait, thought I heard.
Oh, I got stuck here.
They're dangerous and desperate.
Oh man.
Don't say you didn't see this.
Then I lost like 3 seconds due to bad execution. That's about the same time. You have to kill these two at least, so it's absolutely necessary to do this.
Ricardo.
Ripley, the Isadora blast took out the orbital stabilizers. We're about to fall from the sky. I'm trying to contact the turret, but the comms are still locked. The ambulance you just docked is screwed. The turret is our only way off this. The broadcast from the lane just updated.
Hello, Sebastopol. Can you respond? We just saw a ship blow on your starboard side. Took out an entire orbital stabilizer array. We have no place to dock. Please, tell us what's going on in there. We can take survivors.
Oh, I didn't start the timer. I'm sorry.
Ricardo.
Well, you know, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, because you will kill the one guy either now or later.
The ambulance you just docked is screwed. The turret is our only way off this. The broadcast from the lane just updated.
Hello, Sebastopol. Can you respond? We just saw a ship blow on your starboard side. Took out an entire orbital stabilizer array. We have no place to dock. Please, tell us what's going on in there. We can take survivors. I'll leave this channel open. Torrens out.
Welcome to Seegson Communication.
Again, I didn't start the timer. I'm gonna start it here. just gonna happen in a couple of seconds.
What do they want?
Oh, this is so bad. Man. Doesn't really make that much of a difference. You shoot the first guy, you have to headshot him. Takes like another second. I wouldn't even say this is unusual because you will have to kill him on the way back, so this doesn't really make a big difference. You can be a little bit lucky. You've seen there are different patterns. Sometimes the pistol guy of the second comm room is standing outside in the hallway, sometimes he's inside. Yeah, I wouldn't really bother about this too much. Because it's basically about staying alive here, and if you do that, you won't be it won't be too much of a pain to lose some seconds. So in mission 17, there is actually a problem that can occur, and it involves this flare. You don't have it. Because this flare actually constitutes a series of events that will make your life a lot easier. And if you don't have it, you will have trouble. It usually doesn't change that much time-wise if you're getting through the mission beginning. But you might encounter a lot more alien attacks. See, he's down there, so he's out of your way. It's very important. Yes, that's really good. So this is like almost the perfect pattern. You see, the alien kills the guard down there and then he goes to the flare. That's why this flare is so important, otherwise it would be roaming the upper floor. Now if you're still having one EMP mine or one flare left, you can keep it down there. And then you will have absolutely no problem entering this train. So this is like the best thing that can happen to you, that you're having a flare, you're throwing it into the right position, and the story is basically over. If you don't have a flare, you have to do this. If you're having a stun baton charge. Ranged stun baton charge doesn't waste any time. But as you can imagine, problems will start later on with this. And there is no way of escaping the alien fights now. Because without a flare and without a guard, it won't have anything to fix its attention on. And it will try to attack you or to find you. So this is to be expected. The first time it will come down and it will see you. And you will have to fend it off. This fending off we saw takes about 1.5 seconds. So we will just note right now Without a flare in the first part, you will definitely need 1.5 seconds to fend it off. And that's due to bad RNG, bad looting. And then you might have to fend it off again, but it doesn't really matter. You might even get lucky and press the button without having it interfere. Yes, I remember that. That was pretty garbage. I was having so many encounters in my last M17 any% run.
Torrens to Ripley. Ripley, we're about to move into position for the auto-umbilical dock sequence.
So this is the first part of Mission 17. Now we are gonna have a look at the second part of Mission 17.
Just waiting on you to extend the towing platform clamps. I don't know how you sweet-talked me into this.
I would say there are like 3 parts of Mission 17. This is the second. Usually what you need here is either a flare or a noisemaker. And I think a noisemaker is better. So we will just play this through until the door from here with the noisemaker. This is how do we do this? I will leave out the keycard clip just to show some difficulties you might encounter. So I'm throwing this here and now I'm gonna start running. If you make a step here, when you're too quickly going past the alien, it will notice you, and if you're trying to get to enter the terminal, it will drop and kill you. So that's not something you want. When I'm at this door. 5384.
Emergency. Please attend your assigned evacuation point and wait for your synthetic emergency ward.
So now we're gonna try to do this without a noisemaker. Actually, you have to imagine that after this you won't have any problems usually with the alien maybe dropping or something. Maybe I should do this again, just to show this. Because this is actually important. I forgot that right now. I'm sorry. I'll try it again.
I am back.
Yo, info.
Sorry,
what are you doing?
I had to go to the store, and like I said earlier, I was doing a bunch of errands and stuff today, so I will be back through the rest of it, though, so I'm here to be here to guide everybody home. I see we're on mission 17, which, from like an RNG standpoint, is not actually that bad.
Yeah, it can be when you're lacking a flare and stuff. That's what
Yeah.
we're here to discuss right now. So,
Of course, there's all alternate ways to do it if you don't have a flare.
yes, but they will cost you some time usually.
Yeah, it's a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's the point basically. I mean, it's also about showing people that the run is not over when you're having bad RNG. Even
I didn't
if
see
are
if
lacking
you-
items.
Are you doing the keycard clip?
No, I didn't do the keycard clip because it actually adds another RNG component about how fast you can get it, and that's not what I want to discuss right now because it actually depends on practicing a little bit, and if you're bad at getting the keycard, it's not consistent to compare it with each other. So I'm gonna do this again now without a noisemaker or a flare. So you see, it sees you. We will do this again. I set this up pretty badly. I usually don't do this because I would go for the keycard clip nowadays. And that's why I messed it up a little bit. You have to right go for it and try to attack it. And usually you would use a Molotov cocktail for this. This is the standard strategies. This is at least a fast strategy that Psychohypnotic used, and it's still pretty viable, I'd say. But as you will see, it's not only... this is actually faster, you know? But the problem is coming afterwards, because the alien knows you're there, and it might get in your way. This is the actual problem about it.
Emergency. Please attend your assigned evacuation point and wait for your synthetic emergency warning.
This will actually be faster. 1 second. So, let's see what happens if we don't have a Molotov cocktail. And no flare or an It is good to cycle run here, even if you have to get the attention of the Joe afterwards, because this way we'll get a little... Ah, man. What am I doing? This way the Joe won't hear the fighting noise too soon, so when you're just a little bit slow, it won't have too much of an effect.
If you get the key, I mean, the keycard clip is definitely something that people should practice and do.
Yeah.
Because it saves like at least 15 seconds if you get it.
Yeah.
In the first few seconds, and it can save almost 20 seconds, like 18, 19 seconds. I think that's what Bobby timed it at. It's like 18 or 19.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where, you know, once your time is like far enough down there, then just do it. Also, I think it tends to be safer because if you're noisemakering, like in the very first room, you get the key card, you're actually going to be fast enough that there's no risk at all of the alien like dropping in this hallway or on your way down to the vent.
With the noisemaker, yes, that's right. With the noisemaker, all of this is very safe. I won't show the strategy now. I will show something else. And this is actually this part. Sometimes you have to do this very often, actually, without a flare. And I will just maybe save here. doesn't really matter if I save here or not because I have to lay the flare down. Well, so I will have to go to the other save point, but it doesn't really matter. As soon as you are in this part, it doesn't matter if the alien was following you, and it did. It went into the vent and was trying to follow me, and then you heard it disappear. So I'm just gonna
Yeah,
try.
as soon as you get in there, he's scripted to go away. So
Right. So I will now time the time I need to go through here until a certain door you will see. So from the keycard, insert, and now I'm gonna go on here. So, and here you have to wait a little bit because otherwise you might be too fast. And to leave. This can go much more wrong, I can tell you. So that was a 2888, let's say a 29. Now I have to go to my previous save, play the part again, and when I'm doing this, I'm just gonna try and show the keycard clip as well. Oh, I will just because I can. I think the previous save now is the other one. Yes, that's right. But I'm actually not sure if I'm gonna get the keycard quickly, I have to admit. So we'll see. It doesn't matter because it's about the part that comes after that.
most of the RNG in this mission is low percent.
Okay, I didn't get it.
Oh, you're getting the prompt fast though.
I'm too fast crouching up and down. So this doesn't really...
You got the prompt almost immediately though. So.
Yeah, I had the right angle at the wall. I was crouching too fast down. Up again. So, but it's not about that. It's about another strategy here. And the last pattern I got was actually pretty good. So I won't have much of a difference here. Let's just say it can usually save another second to the time we had before. That was 2888. So let's say 29. What were you doing at the store?
Getting you know, like, I don't even know. It's like drain cleaner. You know what that is?
I don't think so.
So I have my air conditioning unit drains into my sink. Okay. in the bathroom. And so the sediment from the air conditioner, as it collects like dust and whatnot,
okay,
was clogging the drain. So you have to buy this gel that essentially dissolves sediment, so your sink doesn't stay plugged up.
Yeah, I get it.
Very exciting.
Yes. So that was a 2725, and as I said, usually when you are not throwing the flare into this into the entrance over here, the alien will take a little more time to actually decide to go away. And it will either go away this way, and it is scripted to go away after some time, or it will go this way. When you throw the flare, when you have the flare, you can save another 2 seconds, I would say, here. And I will just write this down for this section. 17 for the... Yeah, B, the second part was a little bit inconclusive. So, but for the third part, we can say you can save another 2 seconds here. And if you're having bad RNG, that is in this case bad loot, you won't have the flare, and you won't be able just to cycle run through the hallway all the way. If you're doing the mistake of actually running through the hallway without having thrown the flare, it can easily happen to you that the alien will be in your way, look at you, and you will have to fend it off, and then you lose a lot of time. But that doesn't really happen usually, if you're doing everything by strategy. So yes, I would say this is about it. So now, Info, you said there are actually ways to make the fast walk consistent, you said.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to something that Psycho told me probably a year and a half ago at this point.
Okay,
Which
really?
is basically that obviously fast walk only works on the level transition from the end of mission 18 to mission 19. Like, you can't just load 19 and get it ever.
Yes,
It's like the transition from 1 to 2. And basically, my strategy would be pretty consistent, or I think it's totally consistent, but I don't know, it may not work for everybody, is I start holding run and forward right after the load icon disappears, as 19 is loading in. So it's right after you're looking in the bottom right corner at that load icon. And I find that I can't think of a time when it hasn't worked for me. There are times where you will just randomly have fast walk even if you've done nothing. So there is definitely, there's definitely some, and the same with mission 2. You can just have that sort of fast spacesuit animation. And have done nothing, no inputs necessary. But at least for 19, I think that it's pretty consistent, and it's easy enough to test. It just requires you to go you have to do the blast pin thing over and over.
Yeah, well, there is a save point at the bottom of the stairs, so... Oh, why am I running? This is not clever. Why am I running?
I think it's... Oh, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's totally safe.
Verlaine, can you hear me? Are you close enough for radio contact?
Oh, that's nice.
I'm here.
There's a throw at the side, so Joe will still be alive. I don't like this throw. It's too precise for me. It requires too much skill. That's why I actually like to... That's also a thing, if you don't have a Molotov cocktail there to waste, if you have used it somewhere else, then you will lose some more time there. You could actually time this. I don't know if this is necessary right now.
Not really. It's like the time difference is 7 seconds.
How much?
It's like 6 or 7 seconds. You're talking about not using the molly on the Android and just having to walk past.
Really, so much? That's huge.
I mean, I don't know that anyone timed like perfect scenario. That was just...
Yeah, well, we didn't so far. Maybe we should. So I'm gonna lay a Molotov cocktail here and then start running.
It's really hard to time it because like you have the hack RNG.
There is no real hack RNG here, right? I mean, okay, I can time it from here, right? So now I'm past, and I'd say when I'm into the door, I will stop the timer. That's 18.56. Let's try it again without killing the Joe.
Verlaine, can you
And
hear
it sometimes
me?
really happens
Are
that
you
you
close
don't
enough
have
for
a
radio
Molotov cocktail
contact?
there,
I'm
so
here.
that's actually interesting.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought we were talking about the molly on the Android. You're just talking about the molly on the floor. I think that's about the same. In fact, I would always put the molly on the floor, just from a strategy standpoint, because
Yeah.
it's so much safer than having to deal with an alien that's just running at you super fast.
That's right.
That you have to then flame.
Well, it doesn't waste that much time.
The time difference between those two strategies is very little. It's not 6 or 7. I was talking about like between if you molly the android versus not mollying the android and having to walk past the android. That is a bigger time difference. But I would definitely put the molly on the floor for the second alien, because that time difference is probably like, I don't know, a second maybe.
So we will see. I will do this again.
The risk is honestly like RNG from trams. You should always put the smaller down.
No, I'm sorry. I was too hasty there. What did you want to say?
Just that the risk is so much higher. You should always put that down there. I think even in Bobby's run, like the current world record, he puts it on the floor.
Yeah, it's just much safer.
Because you can be walking while you're holding holding R to drop it. So
yeah, right.
You're losing the time that it takes to complete the animation, basically. And you're not really losing that time, because when you run back down, if you have to flame him, you're gonna actually spend more time. I think it saves time. I think it's actually faster to do that than flame him, and it's obviously much safer.
Yeah, well, you can actually psycho run and press the reload button to drop the Molotov cocktail on the round, but that's pretty difficult to handle, I'd say, and then it would really just be the dropping animation. Dropping the Molotov cocktail on the ground. So I will do...
I think it saves time. I don't even think you need to time it.
I will do my personal way of doing this when I don't have a Molotov cocktail without getting stuck, of course.
Either way, that's more like a strategy thing. It's not as much RNG. Because the alien down there he always does the same thing.
Verlaine, the docking clamps are engaging.
Okay, now find the outer control room.
22 seconds, so I got stuck a little bit. What was the other thing? 1856. So you see, when you throw the Molotov cocktail, which really takes like a fraction of a second, that you're slowed down during your run. I mean, you can run and then you throw the Molotov cocktail. It takes like, it's not even a half-second time loss. Then
I just come back to the element of essentially, then you have to either make a throw on a very fast-moving alien, which you can miss, or it's just too many things to go wrong. But it's not really RNG. I mean, the RNG, I guess, for this mission is very minimal. It's like, how far is the facehugger going to boost you?
Yeah.
That's like the RNG, right? It's like, how far is the facehugger going to boost you?
Yeah, that's right. That's
Where is the flare gonna bounce when you're crawling through the tram and you have to throw the flare so the alien doesn't drop? Like, good luck.
Really matter, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but it is RNG, so.
Yeah, well, you know, the RNG there actually is if you don't have a flare, you can't throw it, right? So you lose 12 seconds.
I mean, you can always just flame him if you have the fuel for it.
That's right. That's right.
And that works in low percent too.
So I have to do this again, I'm sorry. What we actually want to do is to get to the end of the level. Doesn't work. Did I throw the Molotov cocktail? I don't think so.
That's it, Ripley. Now use the terminal to extend the docking clamp.
Verlaine, the docking clamps are engaging.
Okay, now find the upper control room.
So, but let's just assume you don't have a Molotov cocktail. You can throw the Joe, and I usually don't do this strategy. You will lose another 3 seconds. You can say that.
Yeah.
Verlaine, there is no personnel
And you
available.
could consider this RNG, bad
Wait,
loot RNG.
I
for
think I
example.
can use the maintenance rig instead. If I can find an EVA suit, I can still get to you.
Be careful,
So
Ripley.
there should be nothing going on. Okay. Hi, Corpse Flash. Good evening to you. How were your Doom 3 runs going? So another thing that can actually go wrong, or that might happen, is that you don't have a Molotov cocktail to throw them at the facehuggers in the little hallway. To having to flame them both, I mean, it does really cost time, but it's more convenient. So, a whole lot of nothing. Eight-second PB. Well, that's pretty good, I'd say. I mean, if you look at the time you already have, which is quite astonishing. So I'm gonna try the Hugger Boost here. That was a damn good Hugger Boost. So this is an RNG point here, just so you know. If you don't have a flare, I mean, you can also try to flame it. Then you might lose some seconds here. If you don't have any flamethrower fuel left, or you don't have a flare, then you won't be able to go past this alien here. That saves you 12 seconds. We timed this before. So I'm just gonna write this down. Mission 18. First part was like 3 seconds. The second part, 12 seconds to flare. Man, really? It's really good. So what is your sum of
Just
best
let me
now?
make it through here. Too close.
The third facehugger.
Wow, that's some of this.
27. Madness. I killed 2 facehuggers in the hallway with 1 Molotov cocktail hit. And yeah, there is another facehugger hatching from an egg, and you don't have to kill him. that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, basically you can either flame bank those two with the molly, hit the wall, kill both of them, or you can run up to them and threaten them with a flamethrower as you're running past. It actually causes them to pause in their animation.
Really?
But yeah, it gives you time basically. I'm pretty sure I did this in both my runs. I think Bobby and Cliffs have done that too, where basically you can cause them to delay their jump just by having the flamethrower out.
So you can just run past them? You don't have to kill them?
No, you can't just run past them, but you do have to kill them, but it allows you to get past them faster.
Okay.
What do you need me to do?
Get out the airlock and EVA over to the maintenance platform. There are explosive bolts on the emergency release. Hurry!
Sub 60 is possible, yeah. Alright.
What? You down?
That's my next goal. I don't know. Yeah. So this fast walk thing is the last thing. I usually lose 10 seconds there. But what I will just try to do it as info said. Try to repeat it several times just to make sure. Yeah, the hugger boost is actually pretty easy. You are in this wrecked tram, you're having the flamethrower out, and as soon as the facehugger jumps at you, you hear the sound, and basically at the same time you see the facehugger in front of you, you shoot it. And because the facehugger is actually behind you and trying to get in front of you, it boosts you from behind with its body, but it is flammable in front of you because it in the same moment somehow jumps in front of you. So it's basically a glitch, I'd say.
Yeah, it's the animation really. It's the same, I think, logic as when you're swinging a jack at something. The maintenance jack, once you're in a certain range, will just pull you towards an enemy that you're swinging jack at. The facehugger has this long jump animation, and he pulls you toward.
All the tricks first try, man.
I'm here, Verlaine. There should be 2 priming mechanisms to
I don't know.
unlock
Light 2 wants to get first, he
I
told
see
me.
them.
Talk about Doom.
Yeah, Doom 3.
That's a good run. It's an entertaining run to watch. I do not have the patience to learn that game though.
What are your plans?
I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see in the fall.
So tell me again how you do this. As soon as the load icon disappears before the fade in or during the fade in, I press forward
right
and
after,
run.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yep.
Okay. I will try that. Yeah, that's the third hugger, that's right. That's right.
You have to kill 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to kill 6 facehuggers.
Yeah, in the last part. That's right. So now let's see. Oh man, I was too slow or what? When the monitor turns black or what?
No, it's when the load icon disappears.
Well, that I'm not fast enough for
You have
this.
to feel it. You have to like be sitting there ready.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you have to do the load enough to have a sense of like when it's gonna disappear. But it's like right after. If you can do it really quickly after the load icon disappears.
Okay, I think I'm gonna try it one more time, and we will just assume this is controllable somehow.
I think it is, but I mean, obviously, one of those things that I've just done one thing for a long time, and it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah. But you don't get it all the time.
Yeah, I do get it all the time.
Okay.
That's why I say it. It's like the mission 3 sort of RNG reset. I think Bobby pretty consistently gets it too. So there's something there.
I don't know. I have the feeling like depending on how your systems, what kind of a day your system is having, it loads faster.
the time of day, the twitchy theory of RNG is.
And then the load screens are faster, slower, and well, if you want to make yourself dependent of that, it's gonna get pretty difficult. I will do a lot of timestamps for that.
Yeah.
So now let's
that's just a strategy. I would just do it. Get it.
So what I did was actually press forward and run during the last black screen.
Verlaine?
Yeah. Okay, I think we will leave it at that. I'm pretty sure there is a way to make this consistent, and I will get it as well sometime in the future. Oh, I have to move. Yeah, but this was an RNG guide, so what is there to say left? We can count together. I mean, we could have a look at the RNG of the mission for Joe that is coming out of the elevator. How long this actually takes, but let's just say in worst case scenarios, I would say you lose like 3 seconds there. Is that something we can agree on, Info?
Yeah.
3 seconds? Okay.
That would be like the worst case scenario.
So I will count this together now. What we have said, what can happen. So, just a second, I'm gonna calculate it and then tell you again.
This is Ripley.
Now it is time for me to get food.
This is Ripley.
You gonna do some more runs today, or are you done?
I may play some Outlast.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Nostromo.
So this is it. Alright, that's what I thought, really. So if you're having bad RNG all through the whole game, and that means like you're having bad patterns and you're having bad loot, then you might end up with a 73 seconds time loss. So if you're having a look at the current world record, if your execution was perfect and you just had a really, I mean the worst possible run, you would easily get third place.
Yeah, I think for sure there's still room to climb up the leaderboard, and especially in low percent. I mean, low percent is free, so
No, that's not true, and you know that.
completely free.
No.
There's 2.5 minutes of time loss.
Right, right.
So it's free.
Yes.
That's a lot of time.
I think so too. Yeah, well, I don't know. So I admit, in worst case scenarios, it could happen to you that you just don't have any items left. But if you're somehow seriously trying to do a run and practice for that, it usually shouldn't happen. And you would really have really bad luck for that. But otherwise, yeah, 73 seconds is not that much. And the rest just depends on the people that play the game, right? So it's not even like you're bound to die. Maybe in mission 7. It could happen because the pattern is so unstable if you're lacking a stun baton and a flare that you're actually incapable of going on. But other than that, there is no reason to think that bad RNG ends your run. There are no run killers in Alien Isolation like in other games maybe.
More people need to run the game. That's the moral.
Right.
The ambassador QD has spoken. More people should play this game.
Yeah, and Scientist Info has affirmed. Okay. So, but...
Alright, well I'm gonna go eat lunch, because it is lunchtime for me, but I think hopefully this was at least interesting to people. The guide is definitely where people should go if they want to learn how to do the actual run. And obviously everybody is still more than happy to help new people learn this run.
Right.
That's the way it is, I think, in most games. Like, there are some games where I think people might be more reluctant to help, but this is a pretty good community. Most of the games I've seen, at least, are like that. So just ask. There's no dumb questions.
Right.
And it's been fun, but I guess I'll watch you play some Outlast then.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a short break and then I'm gonna go on something else. Just like that.
Goodbye, stream.
Yeah, thanks, Infomaster.
Yep.
Alright, people. I don't know, I would like to do a speed walk, but the problem is I'm sure the game is gonna break down soon again. Like it's having its cycle, and it has to complete the cycle. Otherwise, any run will be in danger of breaking down. So I'm gonna do a short break. Question is, what do I do? I have to set up Outlast. Yeah, well, I will give it a try. I will give it a try. Let's see. I'm gonna break off the stream, so I'm having a separate VOD